Good afternoon from Sydney Harbour on a sparkling day. You can see the nor'easter piping in, and what a difference 24 hours makes. Welcome to the second race of the JJ Giltinan 18-footer championships for 2023. I'm Peter Shipway, and along with the Sail Media team, Andrew Buckland and Jimmy Bury, we're bringing this exciting race to you. After the dramas of yesterday and light, drifty conditions, it's an absolute contrast today. So we say good afternoon to Andrew Buckland. Tell us about the weather, Andrew.
Well, Pete, as we alluded yesterday, things have turned out about right. High pressure cell east of us, pretty solid gradient flow down the east coast of Australia. A little bit of thermal on top, and what we'll probably cover it today, 14 to 20, perhaps a little more by the last lap.
Well, no doubt what course we're on, Jimmy. Talk us through the nor'easterly course for those that might not be familiar with it, with all skiffs on their number 2 rigs.
Yeah, cracking breeze, Pete. Today we start down here at Clark Island. They work their way up to the Beachel Buoy, up near the Sound Pigs off Watson's Bay, set spinnakers, run down around Shark Island, back down here to Clark Island, work their way back up to the Beachel Buoy, and then straight back down here to Clark Island, and then work their way back up for the last time up to the Beachel Buoy, run down around Shark Island and head for home just here off Clark Island.
Okay, well, that's the course. It's going to be fast and furious, as a complete contrast to yesterday's almost drifting conditions, as I said. And remembering that this championship, the 73rd JJ Giltinan Championship, is brought to you by the Winning Group. So we'll just continue to look upwind. Well, we're down at Clark Island and looking upwind, Andrew. It's quite spiky off Bradley's Head, isn't it, this wind?
Yeah, no, all the usual suspects for a bit of extra compression on the headlands and pretty lumpy tide on the turn at start time. So it'll flood, and that will, smooth it out a little bit. Quite a bit of yachting activity on the harbour, and such a lovely day that plenty of powerboats as well.
Okay, well, we thank you as always to the Winning Group, the sponsors for today and for the series.
When you're creating your forever home, how do you sense quality? First, you can see it. You can hear it. You can touch it. Then you can smell it. And finally, you'll be able to taste it. Create your forever home with Winning Appliances.
Well, today's race, the second heat of the JJs, is that for the Cliff Monkhouse Memorial Trophy. Cliffy, a great 18-foot skiff sailor, he won the JJs back in 1964 with his famous Tagara, and he was a president of the club in 1968 and became a life member of the club in 2004. So today's race is dedicated to him, and the race sponsor is Andu. Now let's quickly recap on yesterday and those very light, tricky easterly conditions. We saw a great win by Finport Finance, Keegan York, and there's the order from yesterday. Smeg was second, a very good effort by Michael Coxon. Shaw and Partners third, Lazarus Capital Partners 4, Yandu 5 and Andu 6, Noakes 7 and Rag and Famish 8. So they were the top place getters and point scorers yesterday. And earlier today, I spoke to the winning skipper from yesterday, Keegan York. Okay, with Keegan York, the winner of the first heat of this year's JJ Giltinans yesterday in very tricky conditions. Keegan, it was a tough day, but gee, boy, the rich got richer and you were the richest.
It was a bit hard up the first. Well, it was actually hard the whole race, to be honest with you. But up the first beat, we fell back. We got sucked in Clark Island. Took a lot of sterns, and then we just sort of went where we saw boats stopped. We just didn't go there.
So you've always new boat this year, but you always seem pretty good in the light weather. Not going to be too light today. What do you think? Good nor'easter.
Oh, it's surprising we're good in the light, isn't it? We're pretty heavy. Good nor'easter, hopefully 20-ish, I would say. Hopefully it's not too crazy, but 20-ish I think we'll go okay. We're pretty quick in all breeze strengths, so, it's just another race. We're hoping to get a keeper.
Yes, and the rest of the week looks it's going to be light as well. Light westerly, I think, on Wednesday. So it could be still a tricky regatta with 8 races still to go, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. To be honest with you, I don't even really know what the forecast is for midweek. I haven't looked at it yet. So we'll worry about today first and then move on to the next day.
Well, as they say, one race at a time. Well, good luck, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there.
Thanks, Shippers.
Well, we're down at the starting area of Clark Island. We've got about 14 minutes to the official start time at 2:45 Sydney time, Eastern Daylight Saving Time, with a really bouncy northeaster. Looks quite spiky at Bradley's Head, as we saw, so it's going to be a good race to Bradley's, as always the case in these northeasterly conditions. And once again, we'll go to our friends in Cumbria in England, Heidi and Austin Lyons. They've picked their winners for us, and today they're going for, Heidi has picked the Royal Oak Four Pines. Wow, that's a bit out of left field, but who knows? And Austin has picked Smeg. Well, that's a solid choice. Second yesterday, the Smeg. So let's see how they go. And we're just hovering around. A lot of spectator boats out, as you'd expect today, because of beautiful day. The ferry is full, and a lot of other spectators out. David Witt, well-known 18-foot sailor and ocean racing sailor. He's out with his big, beautiful catamaran, with entertaining a few guests, having a lemonade or 3.
And happy birthday, David. 52 years young, we are told by reliable sources.
Okay, well, we'll rely on those sources. But again, we say hello to our friends who are watching all around the world. We've got Graham Longs. Greetings from Perth. Greetings to you, Graham. We've got a few overseas. Puerto Rico. We've got Boris Corojo. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Boris, but hello to you in Puerto Rico. Danny Hoare, he's from somewhere. I don't know where Danny is, but someone's from Scotland. They're all over. And Michael Spees, a former winner of the JJs, he's watching from San Diego. So hello to you, Speesy. And we had a nice note from Jeff Stagg, Andrew, from Annapolis, Maryland. Staggy, a great ocean racing yachtsman and New Zealander who now resides in Annapolis. And hello to you, Staggy. And we wish you well, and I hope you're enjoying the coverage.
And Jeff, great to hear you watching us, but we were talking about your colleagues, Mr. Bowler and Mr. Farr, only this morning with one John Stanley and the considerable impact. And Steamer reminded me of the beautiful story of Bruce's first sail on a boat built by the late Frank Blackburn. And I know that you know the history as well as anybody, but it was great to just reminisce with Steamer about how Mr. Farr got to the class and subsequently got to the design office at the top of the yachting world for quite a long period. And I know you're a big part of that too, mate.
Well, your trivia question for today is, Andrew.
Yeah?
Staggy won 2 Hobart races. What boats were they on? Okay, I'll give you time to think about that.
Whisper of Wellington?
Incorrect. Whisper of Wellington. I could sail faster than that. It was his boat, though. I must admit, you've done well there. But we've got Steve Giles looking in from Singapore. Hello to you, Steve. Got the Yankee Express. Got Global Source. Whoever Mr. Global Source is, he's still stuck in the Shanghai airport.
Oh, bad luck, mate.
Bad luck to you. Graham Long's in Perth. Andy McIntosh, I think he's in Thailand, Andy. Yes, he's in Thailand. Says thanks for the great coverage. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. So we're just waiting now for the start. All boats under little rigs, big nor'easter, and this is going to be a good test. Yesterday really was a mental test. Today is the physical part really comes into it, because yesterday they really had to join the dots, and Finport put in a classy effort. They got round the weather mark first, and they just kept on keeping on, and well over 2 minutes, the victory at the end, and at times they led by almost 4 minutes. Smeg, very good second. They got themselves out of the pack as well, as did Shaw and Partners. A solid performance there from Dave O'Connor and his team of Trent Barnabas and Tom Quigley. And Marcus Ashley Jones would have been happy with his 4th. So, Andrew, what do we like about the starting line? A race to Bradley's as always, and then Nor'easter.
Yeah.
But the starting line, is it favouring a... Looks pretty good to me, that line, doesn't it?
No, they've been pretty careful about the line angle, and they've got it right again. And tough old drag race to Bradley's head, and a slide header as you go. So the leeward boat gains. So you start at the pin and hang on your hat and hope you can get enough up your sleeve to tack and cross. But it's not very far. It's 0.8 of a mile, and it seems to go very quickly.
The breeze looks like it's a bit more in the like in the north.
02 something, Jimmy. 02.
Yeah, so that they're going to run into that hole if they don't make.
Well, there's plenty of pressure coming over the back of the hill. I think the runway's quite long, but it's still tough.
Yeah, just watching a few of them earlier on, they were running into that hole, going over there, figuring it out.
Yeah, have a look at the edge, indeed.
So we say hello to Mike Glover, watching us from Atlanta. Mike Saby. Well, Mike's just got out of bed. Big night in Singapore. Good on you, Mike. Hope the hangover's going all right. Someone check in. Greg Rosenkrantz from Kodiak AK. Where's Kodiak? Is that in... come on, Andrew.
Well, AK Arkansas, is it?
I'm sure he'll tell us.
Yeah.
Brad Kellett. G'day, Brad. Watching from the Gunboat Factory in France. Angus Roxburgh, watching from Queensland. Whangarei, New Zealand, sees Isabel and Fred Raymond tuning in. And hope everyone's over the damage from the cyclone and the heavy rains you've had over there. Our thoughts have certainly been with the New Zealanders over the last few weeks. They've had a pretty tough time. So, we haven't got signals yet. We're about 7 minutes away from the start.
7 or 6 or something, yes.
And the line, as you say, looks pretty good, Andrew.
Yeah.
And Andrew, just for those that mightn't know, just talk to us about if you're over the line. What part of the boat constitutes being over the line for these 18-footers?
Yeah, so they've sort of chopped off the appendages, so now it's solely the hull. So the wings can be over, and the bowsprit can be over, and the sails can be over. It's the actual 18-foot piece of hull, which is, which makes pretty good sense because it is tough to, the poles are only 60mm tubes and difficult to see at the best of times. So, and right down at water level, so making it tough. So they've kind of simplified it, and I think it makes good sense.
Now, Andrew, I'm going to buy you an atlas for Christmas.
Yep.
Kodiak is in Alaska.
AK, Alaska. Yes, there you go.
From Greg Rosenkrantz. So apologies, Greg.
Yeah.
I'll get Andrew to brush up.
You got the A part, right?
Yes. I'll get him to brush up on his...
the 52nd state, right?
And we get a message here from Dave Cummins. Good afternoon to us all. Now, Dave, I believe, suffered a bit of an accident during the week in Twilight race of the Woody Point Twilight. And he had to be operated at Northern Beaches Hospital with a badly broken little finger. So, Dave, I'm glad you're watching, but I hope you're well on the road to recovery. So all the best from all the Sail Media team out here on the harbour.
Just take it easy on the ring pulls, mate.
Yes, well, the starting signals are up. 5 flags are up. One's still trying to fly, the top flag, but we're about just under 5 minutes away from the second heat of this 2023 championship, racing for the Cliff Monkhouse Memorial Trophy. And boy, did Cliffy be a good sailor and a good nor'easter. He would have loved these conditions in his famous Tagara.
And Tagara being the Aboriginal word for sea breeze. Just a bit of convection out the back, Pete, so we're looking for a little bit of build. Looking to the west.
So what do we got, 18 knots, I suppose, 16, 18, looking upwind, maybe a little bit more at Bradley's.
Yeah.
And the harbour relatively clear at this stage of yachts. There's a lot of lasers up off Nielsen Park, but other than that, not too many yachts. Most of the racing's finished as we hear the hooter for 4 minutes to go. For the second heat of the JJs, a lot of spectator craft up to windward of the starting line. And we're in perfect view here. Jimmy Bury's, as usual, manoeuvred us into a terrific spot. We can look right down the line. So where are we going, Andrew? We're at the committee boat or are we down the pin?
Pin, mate.
Pin, okay. So you've got to get down there, you've got to go quick, and then you've got to be able to come back and cross the fleet on port. Easy to say, not that easy to do.
An anxious tack, I can tell you.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the pundits are predicting a bit of a showdown between Andu and Rag and Famish today, but I think there's others who are going to have a say in that.
Well, Pete, I think if we, take a line through what the shore talk is, it's probably going to be Andu, Smeg and Rag and Famish fighting it out today, we would expect. Ian has issued instructions to the Andu crew to come back with nothing less than a win, so that's I don't know how that works.
Now, Ian being Ian Murray, the mentor to the Andu team, and the guy that certainly knows his way around the harbour and 18-footers, and a very respected name in the yachting world. So we're just watching the fleet now with about 2 minutes 40. The tide, Andrew, is just starting to come in, isn't it?
No, it's just slack water,
yeah,
virtually
slack
as we
water.
speak. So just at the start of the flood for the rain.
No. 4 minutes ago was slack water.
Yeah,
So we've got 4 minutes of flood. Come on, Andrew, accuracy we need today. 4 minutes of flood. You can see it roaring in now.
Sure.
Righto, here we go. Everyone's got their game face on today.
Yeah, and the guys that didn't have the best day yesterday, and there was quite a few of those.
Well, it was a day that you could really fall off the treadmill.
Amazing. Some fabulous footage, though. Anyway, just...
The Burrowang, I was speaking to Simon Noon, he said they went from 5th back to 12th just in one short part of one of the runs down to Carrara Point yesterday.
Yeah. Well, we saw that, Jimmy, didn't we?
Yeah.
Some got famous, then others got famous, and anyway, Simon ended up 11th yesterday, but we've got 1:40 to go on the second heat. Good nor'easter, good bouncy nor'easter, and the race to Bradley's will be on, that is for sure. The race today brought to you by Andu Company and racing for the Cliffy Monkhouse Memorial Trophy, and they're just starting to line up now, minute 20. No one really down that pin end as yet, but Andu's well to leeward, as is the Rag and is Noakes Big Pete. Oh, there's someone capsized back there. See if we can identify who that might be, but they will have a relatively difficult time to make the start on time, that is for sure, with 1 minute to go. Fleet well back.
Lazarus Developments, Pete, the young team of Lazarus.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. Yep, the young boys in
with a little legend of mainsail. Yep.
That's Hugo Stoner, Hugo Lemming and Hamish Vass. So they're going to give away a fair advantage with 37 seconds to go.
So they're pretty conservative, Pete, and everybody knows that stay upright, stay out of trouble. Error-free will get you near the podium today.
So Noakes Big Pete, Andu, Rag and Famish, Finport, all down that leeward end along with the Balmain Slake and the Noakes Youth. Here we go. Pedals are down, 13 seconds. I think we're going to be clean. 10 seconds.
Lazarus a little bit advanced. Finport a little bit advanced.
Marcus Ashley Jones at the windward end. 4, 3, 2. We're going to be clean. Yep, clean start, I would think.
Good to go, and they're off.
Yandu missed it at the windward end, but not a bad thing to do, perhaps. But Lazarus got the start. Marcus Ashley Jones at the weather end, stepping out beautifully, timed it to perfection. And let's have a look. There's Yandu, John Winning Senior. He missed the start a little bit, but he's high and fast at the moment. And down at the leeward end, the Andu and the Rag and Famish. Game on already.
No surprises, Peter, eh?
And two boats have really missed it badly. That's the 18-footers and the Lazarus Youth.
And Marine Outlet, Pete, just behind
Marine
us.
Outlet just crossing the line now. Thank you,
They
Jimmy.
look like they've got some damage.
Okay, we'll concentrate on the leaders as they parry off on starboard towards Bradley's. The nor'easter 16, 18 knots, maybe a whisker more. A few boats starting to bail out on port. The Burrowangers across, but the real viewing is down at this leeward end. Rag and Famish sitting up on the hip of Andu, and Lazarus up to windward.
Wow, solid pressure too, Pete.
The breeze a bit in the left here, Andrew.
Yep.
So they can't go that much further.
Well,
So we've got the 4 boats down to leeward are Noakes, Youth, Balmain, Slake, Andu and Rag and Famish. And there's a capsize right here. That's the big
Monkhouse.
Hoffel House.
And the Rag jumped out there on port.
And
Good tack.
Good tack from the Royal Oak.
Finport's crossed them all.
Finport, yeah. Keegan York, a good start, middle of the line. Yesterday's winner. Very strong last week in a good nor'easter before he perished downwind on the last run. Good start from Keegan York. And there's the last boat to tack. Well, Noakes Big Pete.
Wow,
They got quite squirrely in there in the tide. I'm sorry, wrong Noakes. They're in the tide. They went too far.
But Finport leads easily, Peter.
Finport is an easy leader, absolutely. Wow, Keegan York, what a great start. Andu and Rag and Famish locked together.
Balmain Slake up there as well, Pete.
Yes. And where did Lazarus work out? Oh, she tacked underneath him. There's Lazarus. Balmain Slake. There's Birkenhead. Kirk Mitchell tacking up under Bradley's a bit light. You go too far and you get left down up here.
Yeah.
It gets real puffy and squirrely. Here's the Germans coming across, but there's the boats powering away on port now.
And the Germans have done well, Pete. High and slow from just below the boat.
Yeah, but that's bottom of the screen is Finport. There's the Germans, Black Knight, with Yandu still going on starboard off the starting line. He's still in good breeze, so Yandu may be able to go right to Bradley's here.
He'll get to the white light, Pete.
Yes, he will. He's not in any of that disturbed air under the lee of Bradley's. So John Winnie, you would think, will go all the way to Bradley's. Meanwhile, the rest of the fleet going out on port.
Where do you get a nice clean shot?
Yeah, I told him to go all the way. I hope he's listening to me. Go till you can smell the oysters. Oh, he didn't listen to me.
No.
What a shame.
No, he didn't like the look of the little... No, wind
there wasn't. There, little spiky bits. Okay, I'll buy that one.
Yep.
But out in the middle, it is Finport. It is smoking. Andu and Rag and Famish close together.
And Jimmy, I didn't see anything happen there. They must just be going through the water really well.
To the Finport?
Yeah.
Keegan's very happy with both of his rigs and all the way through. So, you know, it's like through the whole wind range. So, you know, it's when you're happy with your boat and you're happy with all that, you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and the boys are pretty happy too, you know.
Okay,
so.
well, there's Finport just tacking now. There's Shark on in the background.
But
So
that's quite a big lead, Pete.
it is a big lead early on. We've only been racing 4 minutes or so, but here's a real battle for second and third, perhaps. The Rag and Famish and Andu, but Balmain Slate right in the picture as well.
So we're quite close to Bradley's Head with, on the leeward side of Big Pete Noakes, and it's about 20, bit over 20 knots at the corner here. A little bit less in the middle.
Okay, Sean Langman,
Great
Ed
tack.
Powers and Reese Mara.
Great tack from those boys.
They finished down the list a little bit yesterday, 7th.
20 knots of wind, bumpy water, perfect.
So they will be about 5th or 6th at the moment.
Yep.
Just behind Andu and Rag and Famish, but it's Keegan York holding all the aces at the moment.
Gussie Williams and Phil Marshall just
loving this.
just ripping too, Pete. Watching it go through the water, really going
It just
fast.
looks quick, doesn't it?
Yep.
Anyway, we're on Andu and Rag and Famish. These two will be having a real dogfight.
So, Jimmy, just thinking about how those guys have sailed their boat, Keegan famous for going high and slow. He looks like he's discarded that and he's now just going, we're going to go 12 knots.
Yeah, he's like they have been working on modes and so forth. Like that, Keegan is one of those guys that loves sailing high, and to change that in someone is very hard. So,
Okay, well, here's the cross in a moment. We'll see, Jimmy. There's Finport just left of screen, just off camera. But Andu and Rag and Famish went right into the cardinal mark of Bradley's Head. But there's the cross now. So it's a good 15-second lead to Finport. Good nor'easters. Yeah, plenty of whitecaps on the harbour now. As the fleet attacking their way up the harbour.
Classic fixture between Andu and Rag, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Neither letting either go.
Andu just a little bit quicker, I fancy, upwind.
Just looks at them. There's Smeg, second yesterday, back a bit at the moment. He's got a bit of a job to do here, Michael Coxon. He's probably about 9th or 10th.
We'll just see if we can get a look at the Smeg rig without interfering too much. We better get out of here, Jimmy.
Yep.
Yep. Sorry, guys, we can't do that yet. Because
Okay.
they're struggling. They look like they're not twisted enough, Jimmy, to me. But perhaps.
Okay, Rag and Famish tax. There's Smeg. James Doran on the sheet. Tommy Anderson in the bow.
Three big blokes in that boat. Three guys all over 6 foot in the old language.
The breeze 17, 18 knots here.
Yep.
See the white caps as in the distance, Finport tax. Well, out in the middle of the harbour is Andu and Rag and Famish, both coming back on starboard to engage with Finport as Smeg tax onto port. And they're going just behind the Bigfoot.
The Bigfoot having a better day today.
Yeah, Dave Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Marr.
A bit untidy yesterday.
They're from Queensland. They were deep yesterday down in 18th spot.
Yeah. Went in backwards in a zero puff.
Day 4 though, wasn't it? Like,
Oh, it was atrocious, but yeah.
So looking out upwind, the order would be Finport, Andu, Rag and Famish, Noakes Big Pete, then a real group of boats, a cluster.
Balmain
Boats.
Slate, fifth, I
Balmain
think.
Slate, yeah.
Having
Henry
a crack.
Larkins, Miles Davey and Flynn Toomey. Good job. They were there or thereabouts yesterday for a long while. They ended up 10th.
But Finport's gone further ahead.
Well, he's going out into midstream. There he is. There's the chasing pack behind him. Boy, he's done a good job up this beat, hasn't he?
I mean, that's going to be a 45-second lead if he keeps progressing like that, if he hasn't any issues.
Well, there's still a long way to go, and of course, hate to keep saying it, but he did perish last week when he went down on the way to the finish. He went down a pleasure boat wave and just kept going. And
Keegan was saying this new boat of his is a little bit more nosy for some reason, just maybe in the rig setup and whatever. Just might.
yeah, well, he went base over
just-
apex, and
Yeah.
anyway. But let's see today.
Yeah.
There's Rag and Famish behind Andu. And Rag and Famish behind Big Pete as well. So Sean Langman's wriggled his way up into third. There's Andu staying right into Chowder Head.
And another compression on this headland, Pete.
Yeah,
so
I like what he's doing, Andu.
yeah, no, it's pretty good.
And then Noakes, Big Pete's just tacked downwind of him, really. And you'll see there's Finport out in the middle.
Finport having to deal with a couple of big powerboat washers here.
They're full stretch on these boats now. The breeze probably 16, 17 knots. And we're about halfway up the first beat. There's Sean Langman and his team.
So, Pete, just thinking about that capsize they had, a bit similar to one that Jack McCartney had, I think, as well, a couple of years ago. But the safety place is to actually tip the boat over a little bit. And that allows a variety of escape routes, shall we say, and to not go into the bad waves dead flat.
Well, that's the lead.
That's respectable, Peter, isn't it?
Very significant, I think is a word we could use. And that's Andu and the Rag. They're going out into midstream. And I think up to windward of the Rag is Big Pete, probably in third spot. Nielsen Park, Steel Point in the background.
So that's not the Keegan of old we're looking at there, Jimmy, is it? It's just ripping through the water. And
He's not a bad sailor or anything. Like
no, but you know what I'm saying? He was always high, and now he's just... And from sailing his moth, I think, to some degree, a bit of cross-training going on where they just sail off the GPS speed, more or less. How fast am I going? Not fast enough. Yeah, go. But he's pretty close to a lay to the windward mark from there. Good tack, too.
So, off camera, Finport is in Chowder Bay, Clifton Gardens. He's tacked on for port to come out, and I think he'll be a bit under the lay. The tide has not helping him as such, just starting to run in.
He's under the lay.
Yeah, well underlay, but we'll come back to him shortly. That's the group that's gone out into the middle. Lazarus in the mix, probably 5th or 6th. Andu second. Andu's closed up a bit here.
And the Ragged Famish back in front of Noakes. Big team.
So I think the news here is that Andu's got a bit closer to Finport.
Hold on.
That's looking downwind is the Black Knight and the Burrowang Hotel. Simon Nur with Burrowang and the Black Knight, Heinrich Bayern from Germany. So Keegan on the western side of the harbour in Finport, just coming up about 100 metres downwind of the Western Channel Pile, for those that know the Sydney Harbour. Nielsen, beautiful Nielsen Park in the background. Beach closed for another 4 months while they do restoration work for the seawall, but here's Keegan. He might need to wear a hat soon, Keegan, looking up the top of his head there. Might have to do a Johnny Winning. Sorry, Keegan.
Not sorry.
Well, got to say it as you see it, Jimmy.
Always have with Keegs.
Okay, he's well short of a lay line. He'll probably go down, and it's probably about 3 minutes away from the weather mark. That's Watson's Bay, Cutty Beach, way in the distance. This boat is really percolating here. Second heat, this is the first beat of the second heat. And it's yesterday's winner in very light conditions is showing the way in very good, strong conditions here. Perfect sailing.
Beautifully bloated mainsail. Wow.
Let's talk about these sails, Andrew.
So, for the viewers, yeah, built by Nick Daly and with a bit of help from Michael Carter, but the membranes come from Incidences in France, and the technology originally devised by Bob Fraser and his guys, Brad and Marky Mark and Brad Stevens and Marky Mark and Bob himself and Michael Carter. That technology sold to Dimension Polyamp, German firm, who on-sold it to the French, and are now the basis of the Incidences membrane business. So Nick and Michael Carter now build the sails here in Sydney from membranes supplied by Incidences in France. And that's a good result there.
So hello to a great friend from New Zealand, PJ Montgomery's watching. And he answered the trivia question, but he answered it incorrectly. Come on, PJ, you've got to do better than that.
Can I phone a friend?
No. You can't use Google, PJ. We've got him stumped, Staggy, but anyway,
Well, Peter, the other Hobart race win was a boat owned by your mate PP Kurtz. I just can't remember which one. Is that correct?
well, we'll get to that in a minute as we watch the leaders approaching this weather mark. And the news is that Ando's closed right up on Finport.
Except that he's short. He's short. Two tacks.
He's got to do 2 tacks, but he's still certainly right up the exhaust pipe.
Well,
it's quite lumpy up here now. Plenty of wind.
Oh yeah, some terrible.
Got to get the bear away done here, Keegan.
Terrible
on the Finport
waves, but he had a nice little set-up time, so he'll be right.
He's around time running, Andrew. Come on. Oh, Keegan, hang on to us, son.
Wow, that's as close as it gets.
Yeah, okay, good job. Plenty of wind. Okay, in for the spinnaker.
And plenty of lump.
No jibe, it's just a conventional set. Now's Andu's round. So what's that, about 18, 20 seconds?
Yeah, we'll call it.
Lovely rounding from Andu. Finport spinnaker set. Andu pushing hard now. And then a fair gap of probably another 30 seconds to Rag and Famish. Harry Price. He's just laying this mark. It's a bit tight lay for him.
Nice, accurate lay from there to get him in a clear third.
Okay, so the race is on. Down to Shark Island.
I've got some work to do, though.
Here goes the Rag and Famish. Okay, this highly polished crew. This is a really dangerous manoeuvre here, get the bear away done. And here comes Sean Langman. See him in a moment. Ed Powers and Reese Mara, there they go. Hang on to our old fellow, he's got it. Yep, job done.
Nice work.
Smeg
Very
will be
smooth.
next. Okay, Smeg's got himself up to 5th, which is pretty good. He was deep and buried. And there's a group of them coming round, 4 of them together. Just sneaking around the inside will be Lazarus, then Smeg. Round the outside is the Black Knight and Balmain Slate just behind them.
And that's a good effort from both those two.
Yeah. And next will be Yandu with Shaw and Partners second. Shaw and Partners were third yesterday. Dave O'Connor, he's round. John Woody Winnings round. All safe.
Wow.
Gee, it's a good tough bear away here. Here comes the Burrowang. Always something exciting what happened here. No. Simon's around. Birkenhead Point. Kirk Mitchell's round. Royal Oak's around. Okay, C-Tech. They're around. Oh, the Royal Oak's got a bit on. 80-footer bar and restaurant.
Royal Oak got the spinning head stuck on the bottom spreader.
Yeah, and next is the Bigfoot, followed by our friends from Japan. And the Burrowang. Never let you down, unfortunately. Just off screen, the big windward capsize. Now that is ugly. If you're going to capsize, there's not much more uglier ways you can do that, Andrew, is there? Capsize to windward with spinning her up. No. So it'll be a long job for them to get up. But anyway, the fleet are screaming down towards Nielsen Park. This is the C-Tech from Brisbane. Josh Sloman, George Morton and Angus Barker. There's the Royal Oak with a green chute. There's a good fresh run now. Now got to be accurate with the jibe angle down here, Andrew.
Yeah, it looks like Andu looking all the way down when they're Andu and Fitbot on similar line.
Great job, the C-Tech boys, at full wick. Here's the Birkenhead and Yandu, just with the red shoot is Shaw and Partners. Good effort by Kirk Mitchell today in the Birkenhead. Along with Andrew Stevenson and Daniel Barnett. One of the young skippers being held out by one of the old skippers, or the older skipper. Now they're running into Nielsen. They're not far off a jibe here.
Plenty of traffic.
A lot of traffic.
Here they go.
Birkenhead goes pretty good. Lovely jibe. Yandu jibes. Shaw and Partners has jibed. So they'll go out a couple of 100 metres, then jibe and come back on board to go down the side of Shark Island for the first time. The race is on to Shark Island. Noakes Big Pete in 4th spot. There's the Rag in 3rd. Here's Finport. It's gone down the side of the island. Still a nice little lead over Andu. These two have jumped right away. They're probably 30 or 40 seconds ahead of the Rag. Finport will lead at the jibe mark, getting a bit soft there. There's the Rag. See the light spots in the breeze.
So Finport looks a little high but safe.
Yep, Yandu's got a full wick up at the moment, running down to Finport. Finport quite soft. See one man in. It does get light down here. The hills of Rose Bay are affecting the breeze.
Yep. So
Andu's closed up here.
So the Rag coming at both of them on a lower line.
One puff will do the job. You can see Andu's got the bow down. They got the puff that Finport didn't. When Finport jibes, they're going to be very close. Andu bow up now.
Yeah.
Finport bow down.
Finport won't be far off a jibe.
Snakes and ladders here.
Wow,
look at see the different angle there. Finport got that puff that Andu didn't. Andu just got it now. And they're off to Point Piper, Finport. So how far to the jibe, Andrew? Not far, I wouldn't think. No, there they go.
Finport's judged it pretty well. And I'm surprised Andu stood past them, but there we go.
He hasn't got much pressure, Andu, but just as we speak off camera, Andu is jibe. Finport still holds a nice lead. Probably extended a little bit, just 10 seconds or so.
He never got that a little bit better. Wow.
And looking
Smeg
down,
there with the white shoe close to the island, Pete.
yeah, they're smoking down. They've got this puff that occasionally comes down, and here it is. It's bringing the fleet down. Smeg to the left, Big Pete in the middle. Big Pete's down and around. Smeg just battling to get to the mark.
Issues there.
There we are, sorry about that. But anyway, we're back live. Here we go. Smeg just jibing. Balmain Slate jibing with the orange. There's Black Knight with green and black. He's jibing. Inside him is Lazarus. And then the screaming down is Yandu, Birkenhead, and Shaw and Partners. But so they've all jibed pretty quickly, those boys, because they had a good pressure to jibe in. So it's very close. It's very tight there from... They're vying for about 4th, 5th and 6th positions.
Wow.
Wow, it's plenty of pressure up ahead as they get down to this Leeward Mark and Clark Island. Look at the rag. We're riding with the rag, bow down and absolutely screaming. Just trying to avoid the moored boats off the Prince Edward Yacht Club. Up ahead you'll see Finport. Still nice lead. You wouldn't say it's a safe lead as Yandu on left of screen. Here we go, it's the chasing pack. There's Lazarus and Balmain in foreground. Smeg up to windward. Down to leeward is Big Pete. Trying to get round Point Piper, which they will. They look pretty comfortable.
I'm not sure if comfortable describes it, Peter.
Well, they've got a really good gust here. Up to windward is Smeg, just going off screen. Here he is. Is Coco driving hard. Look at this. This is thrilling stuff. Oh, they're all being really pushed low on the mark.
Finport did the best there, Pete, easily.
Yeah, but we're on Smeg. He jibed early. He's vying for 4th spot here with Big Pete. So the distance remains about the same between Finport and Andu. It's lovely 2-shot there. The leaders on the lefts. Finport almost around.
Finport dialed up and he's at the mark nearly.
And Smeg is absolutely full throttle along with Big Pete. They've done a great job closing up on the 3rd place Rag and Famish, who was carried a bit low, but Michael Coxon, Sean Langman, jibed early and laying down perfectly.
And we're doing 25 knots in the camera cam.
And we're just holding them. They've got to get the spinnaker down and up the wind. Okay, Smeg first to drop. Big Pete drops. Hard work for the crew now. Breeze is here. 18, perhaps 20 knots.
1-man drop on the Smeg. Nice work from Tommy. And the Rag and Famish on the dial-up. Wow.
Okay, so 3 around. Finport leads. Smeg, Andu 2nd. Rag and Famish 3rd. Smeg will get round in 4th. Just a couple of boat lengths ahead of Noakes Big Pete. Nice rounding by Smeg. And the Noakes just not quite in full trim yet. And here's Lazarus. All these boats have done very well downwind here. Lazarus is another. He's in 6th spot. Then there's a little bit of drama because Balmain Slate will be next. Henry Larkins.
A little bit of drama on the German boat, can't get the shoot down.
And Yandu getting the shoot down, but Shaw and Partners Dave O'Connor trying to get round the outside of Yandu, who's got a little bit on there. So just at the Leeward Mark.
Oh, got a bit dialed up a bit early, those boys.
I don't know what happened to Yandu. They're normally pretty safe in those conditions. But
very solid bit of pressure
now
there.
they've got to get away to get down to this mark. Meanwhile, Birkenhead has gone round to Leeward. He's got the spinnaker down. He's got to get up. Yandu's got an issue here. He's got right above the mark. He's got to come away square. This is not going to be easy for him, but Birkenhead gets dialed up. Shaw and Partners round, and you'll see Yandu coming round. He lost a bit there, Yandu.
Wow.
Birkenhead around with him, but Yandu's still not 100% comfortable. Next will be the Royal Oak. Then the Bigfoot from Brisbane, be inside them. But anyway, that's Shaw and Partners, Yandu and Birkenhead. All boats on starboard now, going out again to Bradley's. This time we go up to the Beetle Boy at Sound Pigs, then the long VMG run back down to this leeward mark. So plenty of raceway left, that is for sure. Now a big group after the 18-footer. Oh, that's C-Tech. Is that C-Tech, Jimmy, that's just gone round?
Yeah, C-Tech just went around.
Okay, there's a big gap now to the next group. And there's the next group, led by Noakes Youth. And
Team Japan.
Okay, well, there's our Japanese friends. There's Noakes Youth. And just off camera was Fisher Paykel.
So, Pete, interesting work up in front of us.
Not on screen, but Burrowing it's nearly capsized again up the jibe.
Okay.
Not having a good day.
No, he's a long way back, but anyway, we're concentrating on these three boats here. It's from top of screen, it's Andu, Big Pete and Lazarus. And going across back on starboard is Rag and Famish. Oh, Smeg, I'm sorry, Smeg. It was Smeg, not Andu. That's Smeg, Big Pete, Lazarus. Rag and Famish has crossed all those.
Yeah.
And so it looks like Andu has really got himself close to the lead when we get up to the leaders. Andu and Finport. There's Andu.
They would have learned something on the first beat, Pete, both boats.
And you'll see.
But you can assume that Andu's probably figured out some slightly better settings for, sail depth and twist and so forth.
I think.
But equally, Andu, pretty heavy crew weight.
Yeah, Sam Newton and Sevi Java, they've been having their wheat picks, that's for sure. They're big boys. And it's really come into their wind range now, but let's not discount Finport, who's put in a mighty effort so far. And there's going to be a telling cross at the moment as we watch Lazarus tack just above them up to windward. It is Andu who has taken the lead.
And he's tacked to cover.
He's tacked to cover Finport, but we're on Lazarus now, who's probably fourth or fifth, going back in towards Bradley's Head. And we're going to have a look at the two leaders in a moment. That's Bradley's Head, Taylor Bay, coming round. There they are, 1, 2, 3, there they go. So it's Andu and Finport very close together in a very good nor'easterly now, 18, maybe 19, 20 knots on the second of 3 beats. Second heat of these JJs for 2023.
So by the look of that, Pete, the Andu doesn't mind high and slow.
Remember, only one race today, late day tomorrow, then 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday. But here we are, concentrating on the lead as well. Andu is starting to flex his muscles, but Keegan York is not giving much away, but he's in second place at the moment. It's Andu with a really good cover on him there. What are we seeing here, Andrew?
Well,
pretty similar, isn't it?
Well, no, Andu's just a little higher and slower. Keegan sailing fast and lower.
Probably to extract himself out of the
to some degree.
The lee somewhat.
But the Keegan of old would have gone into high mode, with him, so.
Powerboat needs a gift, Pete.
Well, here comes a really out winner for the day. And look at this absolute kumquat coming down the harbour now. I mean, could you get a worse looking boat? I mean, really.
Peter's got some exploding kumquats.
Right.
Here we go.
Here we go, this idiot. There's throwing kumquats at him. What a fool. Look at this. Pushing Bondi Beach now.
Yeah.
Fortunately...
Don't lose the rest of them off your
No, I've got kumquats today. Kindly given to me by Graham Pope, who's been watching our coverage from Worcester in England, and there he is. He gave me a box of kumquats. He came to watch the titles. Thank you, Graham, very much. They'll come into use. Let me tell you, it's their first one today. Anyway,
We might need a launching device, Peter. I'll cobble up a slingshot.
want a hand grenade in them. Okay, back to the racing, as they say. Wow, this is a good race here. Andrew and Finport. Andrew not letting Finport out of his grasp at the moment. Good bouncy nor'easter, incoming tide.
Unreal. Seriously unreal.
Ah, look at that. There's our friend Grant Robertson, who goes to the Kumquat Tree Cafe in Perth. They're listening to us. Okay, so we're about halfway up the second beat. Remembering yesterday, Andrew, John Winnings Jr., Savvy Jarman and Sam Newton were 6th. And of course, Finport was 1st yesterday, but a long way to go in this regatta. And that is a great shot. Look at that.
Fantastic, man.
Full diff upwind.
And Pete, what I think here is that Finport's faster when the water smooths out. That might, or there's less difference in the speed when the, in the rough water, Andrew is a little better. As the water smooths out, Finport seems to be able to, match them more readily.
Well, if you love skiff sailing, this is fantastic. I don't know, Andrew looks pretty quick to me, but they're very similar. So Andrew's got a bit of height, but Finport's got a tack. Now Andrew's got a tack. Wow, this is match racing at his very best in 18-foot skiffs in a big, strong, bouncy nor'easter. You don't often see this.
No.
Remembering Savvy Jarman on the sheet of Andrew. He's won this title 9 times previously. 8 as crew and 8 as a skipper and 9 once as crew. Oh, just some bad waves there on the Finport.
Yeah.
Both heading into Clifton Gardens, Chowder Bay. And probably now they're just paying a bit of attention to the tide, Andrew, you'd think. It's been running in for a little while now. And that big catamaran that you see between the boats belongs to our dear friend David Witt. He's out there having a sherry or 3. So I think Andrew is extending here, Andrew.
Yeah, he's
Slowly but surely.
He's gained a couple of boat lengths since they tagged.
At least, yeah.
Yep. But I think if I'm Finport, I'm happy to go around and get 2nd, in fact. Not happy about the speed differential, but can always work on it tomorrow.
You'd be pretty happy with a 1 and a 2, but still,
Yep.
we're not even halfway through this race yet, so a lot to play out. Got to be very accurate in your boat handling. And there's Finport Finance just tacking.
Good tack both.
Oh,
Keegan.
Keegan.
Good
Oh,
tack,
someone's-
Keegan. No, he let the tiller go.
Okay, he's
He
safe. He saved it.
Drop the tiller.
Yeah, little things can happen.
Yep.
That gave Andrew a bit of a jump. And it'll probably help the 3rd place get up. Rag and Famish, who are right in at the headland at Chowder Head, but that's the race leader standing out in the harbour. There's the Rag now just tacking. He's in a solid 3rd position. And there's the distance is the Bigfoot from Queensland. They're putting in a very solid effort. So the battle for 3rd is quite intense, with Smeg 4th, Big Pete 5th. Lazarus is in the mix as well. There's Lazarus. You'll see Smeg coming up shortly, and Big Pete. There's Big Pete, and there's Smeg. So Smeg's very close to Rag and Famish. Smeg on starboard.
Yeah, I didn't see what created that, Pete, but...
Well, it might have been good speed, good crew work, who knows? The Rag is across.
The Rag is across.
No problems. So it's a good battle for 3rd, and not far out is Big Pete and Lazarus.
Yeah, the next run tends to be pretty important in this race. There's quite good gains to be had if you if you get your pathway correct, and I think we'll see jibe sets from most of the boats at the top mark this time. Starboard pole in the olden days. Come down this northern edge in the slightly headed pressure.
Starboard pole before you got involved, Bucko.
Well, you know, it's interesting, wasn't it? Because, you know, we were not the originators, but, you know, in the era when I started with Ian Murray and Don Buckley, you know, it was resolved that the boats went best if they used all the riding moment all the time, and so that evolution took a couple of years, but we're travelling with Noakes on the camera boat up into Chowder Bay into the smooth water and a little back eddy. So, excuse me, tide, back eddy probably. Noakes tacking now in a bit of an awkward spot. Plenty of jib off, all good.
Okay, there's Sean Langman. Okay, I've just had a couple of nice messages from Mark Barlow. Hello from Townsville, Northern Queensland. Hello to you, Mark. And Graham Handley. I don't know whether it's my old friend Balls from New Zealand, but if it is Balls, hello. If it's not, hello anyway.
I was going to say from NZ.
Yeah. Why didn't the Kiwis come over? Well, they were invited. And you'll have to ask the Kiwis that, but boy, when they were here a few years ago, they were good. Won 3 in a row. But this year, they're not going to be here. It's a rag and famish. Standing in towards the windward mark. You can see it in the distance. The battle is really on for third, Andrew, isn't it? Way in the distance, that's Finport to the left, and then just near that yacht. Oh, this yacht. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Look at this complete fool in a yacht. Look, it just almost ran. Why don't you just run into the boat and really finish their day? I mean, they shouldn't be allowed on the harbour, those fools. Look at Nelly ruined Andrew's day. Now he's going to ruin Finport's day. Okay. So Andrew's clear of that yacht.
And both those boats look like they're on the low line.
They're pretty tight, I think. Yeah, they will. Yep. I think you're right there, Andrew.
Yep.
Andrew's powering away now. They're really enjoying these conditions. The breeze, probably 16, 17, 18 knots. There's the Western Channel pile. Those that know Sydney Harbour, 2 white lights as they call them, the Eastern Channel pile and the Western Channel pile is rag and famish, hanging grimly on to the third spot.
And pretty good separation now between second and third.
Andrew, you got the time running here.
To the nanosecond, Peter.
Okay, and Andrew's around. See top of screen, white water everywhere. And
didn't jibe, bear away.
The big run now back to Clark Island. The VMG run straight down the harbour. Shark Island not in play. Andrew leads quite comfortably. Behind at the leeward mark, but he's now taken the lead up this beat and would lead by, what have we got, 30 odd seconds as Finport about to go round.
Yeah,
nice easy rounding, not much wind there.
Almost
just
exactly 30, Pete.
Okay, so relatively calm rounding, if anything could be classed as that. So Finport's spinnaker is up.
And the rag
and set
is relatively comfortably third. About a further 30 seconds, 45 seconds in a race, perhaps.
Andrew jibing, and they'll go in across towards Bradley's Head on this next run before they jibe again to go down to the leeward mark.
No, sorry, the rag at least 1 minute behind.
Yeah, well, Smeg and Rag are going to be very close for third. Smeg's hung in there very well. And Lazarus coming in on port. Yeah, the good race here, Jimmy, for third. Now he's across. Marcus could be third here. He can put the pedal down and roll over the top of Rag and Famish here. Yep.
Wow. I said
Very good job by Rob Bell, Geronimo Harrison and Marcus Ashley Jones, third. Very close.
Yep.
Marcus is around. Whoa, Wooshka.
Full noise.
He's third. And what was that delta? About a minute, was it, to second? Oh, Rag and Famish.
minute 10.
Can't get away.
Cavitation. Too much
Can't
heel.
get away.
Here they go.
Now he does.
Yeah.
And here comes Smeg, now in fifth spot.
Oh, the Rag's done the job set.
Jibe set on the Rag. There's the Smeg. Oh,
Wow.
spiky again here.
Yeah.
The 2 litres got round. It was relatively quiet in relative terms, but next around is Big Pete. So he's third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
And then Black Knight, Pete.
Black Knight.
Having a blinder.
Here he comes. Our friends from Germany. There he goes. Wooshka. So he's around quite clearly ahead of the next group, which is led by Yandu. Birkenhead Point having their best race for a long while. They're right in the mix too as they charge off downwind. So we've got this long run down to Clark Island. One more beat and then Shark Island, then home as we're on the Black Knight. Next Big Pete. Chasing hard here to try and get into third, but at the moment they're quite a way back from third in fifth spot, sixth spot perhaps. Where did the Rag go there, Jimmy?
They jobbed earlier, they're just off Clifton Gardens, Pete. Black shoot.
Oh, I see. It's hard
On the
to
black
see.
background.
Yeah, very hard to see. It's the Nielsen Park Channel Winker. It's just past by Big Pete. Some are asking why the name Big Pete. Sean Lang was named in memory of his father who passed away, I think last year. So a nice accolade by Sean, paying respect to his late father. So there's Lazarus. So they're running in towards Bradley's Head. So what's the manoeuvre here, Andrew? Go as far as you can on starboard, then a couple more jive and you're down there.
I mean, probably the good spot is near where the cardinal mark is there, at an aiming point. Get the compression on the headland as you go past.
Well, there's Rag and Famish. He jibed, I think he jibed set to near the windward mark and ran into Chowder. Now he's running down the shore. Remembering he was fourth round, so he's converging now with Lazarus, who was third round. It looks like Lazarus still maintains third spot at the moment. And that's Finport right at Bradley's Head. And the news is that Andu is extended right away in the lead. Jeez, he's done some good stuff downwind, Andu, when we come to see him. Oh, there's another boat that's capsized. He's
Lazarus Developments.
Lazarus Developments, okay. They were probably being lapped.
I think they were heading
for home, perhaps, yeah. So, Andu right, Finport left on first and second is the Bradley's Head channel mark.
Wow. Finport with a charter boat.
Oh, how unusual. Some idiot, another idiot.
Charter boat in the way, under power.
Okay, yeah, Andu got a jibe to do to come into this mark. Not far off a jibe, you wouldn't think. Here he goes. They're pretty accurate with their jibe angles, this team. There he goes. He's through. Nice job. Excellent. Safe. Nice safe lay line.
Look back up the
Concentrating on Andrew. He's approaching the leeward mark, so Finport has got one more jibing in.
I think you'll find Rag and Famish is in the had a swim there, Pete.
Yeah, I can't see, but looking back, but anyway, we're concentrating on the leader. We'll come to that in a moment. But thinking that the Rag may have perished downwind. These guys haven't perished.
A lot of powerboat washing Bradley's as usual, and
I'll look at the time.
Yep.
Bucko,
Yep.
end of charter period. Head home, 4 o'clock, get them off at the wharf.
Finport looks nice and comfortable.
yeah, nice conservative jibe angle.
I think, as you said earlier, Andrew, if Keegan can just stick in with second, he'd be more than happy with that without throwing too much risk at it.
Yep, exactly. If you start your regatta with a 1 and a 2, and knowing that your boat speed's pretty good, they've still got some boat work to do, as we've noted.
Yeah, and still they've got this long beat to go. The second beat, and here's Lazarus in third spot. See how bouncy it is. Look at him bum, bounce, bounce, bounce along. Powerboat wake.
Oi.
Okay, Lazarus now getting ready to jibe.
So 45 seconds, Pete.
Okay, well that's a very significant lead. Remembering that Andrew was second at the leeward mark the last time as we watched Lazarus jibe. Okay, good work Geronimo Harrison and Rob Bell.
Yeah, they're making a good fist of today, aren't they?
And
And they were pretty good yesterday too.
And we're looking back upwind. We are positioned right at the leeward mark.
The Rag's,
And
The Rag's back up.
the Rag is back up and he's back now in about 8th or 10th spot.
He's got his shoot.
Oh,
shoot
that's...
back. Yeah, problematic for him.
That's a tough position to come back from there.
And
Anyway,
Pete, looking upwind, more pressure for this
more
boat.
pressure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Probably,
It's really starting to kick now, you're
probably
right.
22 or something,
Have more traffic.
and more traffic.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Lazarus, they've done a very tidy job today. So Marcus's mum, watching from Hobart, you should be pretty happy with your little gorilla son, Marcus.
Little
Gorilla son.
Yeah. So far, but there's a long way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at Smeg, he's got a bit on. Oh,
Tommy Anderson.
Tommy Anderson,
Tommy
Doro,
go.
What a drop.
working hard. Come on, Doro. Come on, Tommy.
Miracle.
Okay, charging behind them. All these blokes. Now there's breeze freshing. There's the big Pete.
Very solid puff coming.
Oh, Cocko's dialed her up there.
No, all well done.
Absolutely.
Took advantage of
There's
a little
Noakes.
lull.
Oh. Now we should keep our eye on the Germans here.
They're having a blinder, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they look pretty comfortable, in fact, the Germans.
Nice, good drop. Yep, clean. And got the roundup done. Yeah, full marks to you, as they say. Next around will be Balmain Slate and Yandu. So we just update you on Rag and Famish. We've got Andu first, Finport second,
Lazarus third.
Lazarus third, then Smeg, Big Pete, the Germans in Black Knight, Yandu, Balmain Slate, Shaw and Partners, Birkenhead Point,
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, and
Then-
then Rag after that. Wow, they're deep. Well, that's what a capsize does to you.
It was a quick swim from one with a shoot up.
Yeah, with a shoot up, it was very quick swim.
They did a mighty job.
Okay,
But
Yandu goes
Oh,
round, Balmain Slate.
Balmain boys,
Hang on to
come
it, boys.
I don't think they quite have the weight of some of the other boats to be pulling that one off.
Yeah.
Here comes Dave O'Connor and Shaw and Partners, third yesterday. They're going to shoot inside Balmain.
Wow, and a wild looking scene.
Here comes the first of the Queenslanders, the Bigfoot. They're around then. Birkenhead Point, just about 3 boat lengths behind, and then coming up there, exhaust pipe, is Rag and Famish.
So, Pete, I'd say this next downwind leg to the finish after they get to the top mark is going to be survival-ish.
Yeah, as fresh as we've seen it here at the moment.
Yeah.
Good 18, solid 20 at times.
20 more than.
Yeah. Lakes youth. Hang on to them, boys. You've got a job to do. In they go.
Don't do a jog drop, I think, Pete. Close enough and safe enough, yeah.
So it's really extend on starboard from around the mark, go over towards Bradley's, then get onto port. That's what the majority of the fleet have done. There's Rag and Famish. He's tacked early. He's got to throw everything at this now to try and any place is going to be valuable for him now. Just tack back onto starboard to clear his air, but boy, he's got a job and a half to get back into this race.
Yeah, I think Petey's fast enough, but the best he can probably hope for is a 5th or a 6th.
Well, it's going to be a big job for him from there.
Yeah.
He's got to pass some pretty good boats to get there. Gee, it's a cracker of a nor'easter now.
Yep.
Absolute ripper. This is one of the best nor'easters of the year, Andrew, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Early autumn, and this is really a summer's day. Clear sky, white caps everywhere, 18-footers, full biff. And there's the race leader, Andrew. Bouncy off Taylor Bay. There's Marcus, Ashley Jones. He's clearly in third now. He's really percolating. Up ahead's a 12-foot skiff, so don't get excited. Mrs. Ashley Jones is third. And there can be nice gorillas. I know you just didn't know your son was a gorilla, but anyway, there are nice gorillas. These are a nice gorilla. So there he is, swinging it out.
There's Finport in the background.
Right,
Just behind that
yeah, right in the distance is Finport. And there's a yacht nicely in control and leeward of him. Just hope he doesn't do a roundup.
It's a sailing school boat. Pete's got a reef in the main. And probably about the right size jib. Bit of roller.
So they're moving very nicely. The Lazarus. There's Finport, right at the Yachting Association buoy in Taylor Bay, just tacking.
The Sea-Tex just passing to the camera boat downwind, so they've obviously had a bit of a swim.
Yep, they've had a problem or three. So that's the distance between second and third. And Andu is sailing right into Chowderhead at the moment in a very firm grip on this race. And Lazarus done well here, Andrew. He's got good speed.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't say they're the heaviest crew around.
Oh, there's a bit of height and a bit of meat. What do you reckon Rob weighs, Jimmy?
Oh, ask me again Tuesday.
Oh, okay, copy. We'll figure it out in the meantime.
See the
what,
white?
around the 80 mark, thereabouts?
80, I would have thought maybe 85, but
There's the race leader, Andrew, bouncing off Chowderhead.
so Fitboard going less tax theory, I think, Peter.
Yes.
Give Andrew something to think about as well. But like I said, the mood on board might be, and the sentiment might be, let's just keep it in one piece.
Okay, he's tagging now.
Why they tack now?
Put it on the board. Second.
He'll probably go right up into George's head and then tack and
On the lay.
almost on a lay, but
Yeah.
he's well clear of Lazarus.
Yeah.
And but Andrew just coming into shot at the moment. In the moment, there he is. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That's the lead. It'll be a good 40 or 50 seconds, you'd think, by the time they get to the weather mark. Well, this is a real masterclass from Andrew now. They're powered up. They're at maximum speed upwind, looking really sharp. A crew that know how to win. And Sevi and Sam and Herman winning. Done it very well as they tack. They're just keeping a loosish cover on. Finport is a long way back now.
Pretty nice tack too for the wind speed.
It's good for the young kids at home there, Pete, that, even though they've got quite a considerable lead, they're not, they're always just keeping a loose cover on them. It's always good for the young kids at home to realise it doesn't matter how far you got.
Respect your opposition. There's Finport in the background. That's the distance. So about 2/3 the way up this final beat. Beetle Boy near Sound Pigs, then the run down to Shark Island, the jibe down, then run into the finish. There's Smeg and Noakes, Big Pete. So
The battle for fourth.
Noakes has got himself in front there of Smeg. So Lazarus third, Finport second, and Andrew first. So that's Bradley's head in the background.
There's Lazarus in third there, just to the left of screen. And the rag in the background. So look at it, they're starting to come on in.
Yeah, the rag's making good yards up on Noakes and Sneak Pete.
Yeah, he's throwing everything at it, Harry, to
Have to take some angry pills to get through all that.
stay into contention. He needs to really good effort because he was down a bit yesterday in 8th position. There's Lazarus. Now there's Rag and Famish way in the background. Lazarus third. Andrew tacking. Wouldn't be on the ley line, I wouldn't think, Andrew, would he? With the close,
Very close. Yeah.
The tide will be pushing him left to right
Yeah.
as we look upwind of Finport Finance. It's a great shot of both those boats. Fully wigged up in this 18 to 20 knot nor'easter.
Yeah, I mean, Pete, you can see Andrew is just slightly higher.
Looks a bit higher, doesn't he? Yeah.
And slightly slower, but slightly better VMG. So he's on the low line, Pete. I would think, Andrew.
He's got some good height in the boat at the moment, whereas Keegan's got the pedal down a little bit.
Yeah.
spray everywhere, and these boys won't mind this second in a heat of the JJs after winning yesterday. You'd be pretty pleased with yourself, but still a run to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just threw a bit of power boat wash.
Yeah, and just went for a bit of jibby.
GBs,
Good bit of squirt around the corner.
Wow, the bear away is going to be the key here at the windward mark. I think Andrew is short, aren't they? Andrew, I think.
No, I don't think so,
no.
Pete.
Oh,
Their body language tells me they're laying. There you go.
okay. Well,
But it's windy.
it is
I
windy.
can tell you that.
Runs up. Let's see if they get some up too.
Wow. Crash bang.
So, Finport's got 2 more tags. No, Andrew's short.
Short. Well done, Peter.
Yeah.
And they've got a little problem in the tag. I'm not sure what happened there, but
So they're going out, extending a bit on starboard. They've got a little bit of extension to do.
oh wow.
Just noticed the freshwater class Manly ferry going up the eastern channel, Pete.
Okay, what do you read into that, Jimmy? Giving the spectators a look, or
Just very unusual.
It is.
Because there's no shipping movements that I'm aware of. So unless it's someone being exceptionally courteous or...
okay? Well, what was the time of the leeward mark? Was it about 40 seconds? Was it, or do you remember?
Was it 45?
Okay, well, we've got a time here now. It's very windy, and this weather mark. This is where problems could arise with the bear away. Let's see how these top-class crews handle. Andrew's around. Okay, safe and sound. Lovely. Well done. Straight into the spinnaker. There's Finport. He's got one more tack. There he goes. He's tacked.
Pretty nice tag also.
Nice easy lay line. There's the Beachel boy. Andrew. Really good spinnaker set. Screaming down now the harbour. Finport. Just got a little bit of a lull at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to round in a lull to be pleased
Yes,
with
just a little bit of a lull.
that. And I think he'll just do a bear away.
Is he going to still
no
keep your wits about you?
No extra risk.
Here he goes. He's around now. What's the delta?
45.
Okay, so
Nothing happened on the beat at all.
no.
Well, it's interesting in itself, that Pete. That was very solid pressure from a fair bit of that beat.
Okay. Gus Williams and Phil Marshall working hard. Spinnaker's now set. Okay, and away in the distance, Andrew of Jibe down near Nielsen Park. You'll see them go across shortly on starboard Jibe. There they are. So that's the lead, about 45 seconds. Shark Island awaits. 3 strings here on the Finport.
Wow. Good thing it's not an ebb tide, Peter.
Yeah, it's
Not much margin for error.
no, very little.
If it was your money, you'd have to go to on Keegan, growing up down George's River. Run out tight Black Nor'easter down there's something to behold.
Yeah, Keegan's pretty safe usually.
Now look at that. Boat bouncing around. See plenty of the centreboard from side on. We're alongside them. Andrew has just jibed. He's got it done. So he'd be on the lay to the Shark Island, you'd think.
He looks a little earlier than he was last
Yes,
time.
he was.
Pete.
Yeah. He's probably wanting to play it safe. He's got enough of a buffer.
Yeah, he's got a good buffer. You're quite right.
The third boat's just around the Beachel boy, and that's Lazarus.
Here goes the Finport, having a jibe, just like having a cup of tea. They're leaning a little bit of a lull, but still 16, 18 knots of wind.
Okay, there's Andrew laying into Shark Island. You'd have to say he's pretty clean down there. He's got plenty of wind. I think he's just allowed for any spiky bits that might be coming over the hill here. But he didn't want to have a tight lay line.
Oh, absolutely smoking. Boat very upright, which can be a bit risky.
You can see he's laid down beautifully here, Yandu. He's going to get some light spots here. I think he put a bit in the bank here, Andrew. He didn't want to be tight on this lay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad time to be slightly conservative.
Even now, he's just starting to get the puffed.
Wow, and he didn't want that one.
Didn't want that one. He's heading for the barbecue on Shark Island at the moment.
And the problem with these boats is they go, you're starting to puff for a long time.
It goes with you.
They just join two puffs together.
On the right of screen, you see Finport. It's giant to come into the island, and going across his stern is Lazarus. Yandu's getting plenty of gust.
Got plenty on. It's a powerboat weight to help him out.
Don't leave us, boys. Don't leave us. Stick with us. Okay, just ragging the chute now. Oh, it's full on here. Full on. He's about 3 boat lengths from the mark, and then he can get the bow down. Okay, there's the mark. He's at it. Now he's around. Okay.
Got the job done.
Well done. Gee, it gets spiky down there, doesn't it?
He'll jibe pretty promptly here, I think. He's VMG running very much and setting up, and a safety jibe of major proportions, and there we go.
Yep.
And he's still going to be troubled by Point Piper.
Yeah, the western end of Point Piper never lets you down, really, does it? Get a spiky one there and you're almost in the real estate, an expensive real estate at that. And there's a nice powerboat going to make things interesting here. Oh dear. Well, he's got to navigate that first, and all of a sudden he's ragged his chute to try and get to windward of that big powerboat. Oh. There's Finport, there's the jibe mark. So he's well and truly round.
Finport got a nice lull and jibe.
He didn't quite get as spiky as Andrew did, but he's jibed. Nice and clean. There's the moored boats at Point Piper. Wow. Oh, Andrew.
Andrew's in trouble.
Crew racing into leeward. All that back on top of them. They're right. They're okay.
Got it going again.
They've got to go in. They're just starting to get some better breeze now. Look at that. They're up and going and on their way. About 200, 300 metres from the finishing line. Race 2 of this JJ Giltinan's Championship for 2023. It's Andu, John Wenning Jr., Sebi Jarman and Sam Newton looking strong. Look strong all day. Great boat handling here. Fantastic performance. Highly fancied in these stronger airs. They've let no one down, that's for sure.
Still got a bit on here, Pete.
They have. I want to stub your toe here, you'll be regretted.
Well, almost be worthy of a drop.
It would be. They're well below, not well below, but they are below the finishing line.
Yeah.
This is good crew work here, isn't it? Look at this. Sam Newton wrestling that spinnaker like a walk in the park for them.
Not exactly. They're going to be in the rag mode.
Oh. They've got about 100 metres or less to go. And they'll find out that just the chute, they'll carry the chute across, get a time on them, but it's Andu, winner of the second heat. Well done, boys, terrific performance. That goes with their 6th yesterday, so a 6-1, strong. They're across. on a classical day on the harbour. Classic nor'easter.
And the fin point a bit low.
Yeah, I think Keegan will play it very safe here.
Yeah, you'd be going, let's pull her off, wouldn't you? Just reach in.
Well, you probably would, but
Yeah, well, you look how far back Lazarus is. You do it just for safety and peace of mind here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
there he comes. He's got the gust of the day.
Frank Hyde upon him.
Yeah,
and,
he's got
wow.
80 metres to go to the finish. Not much spinnaker being used there.
Not much needed. So they're just going to play it a little bit safe the other way around.
Yeah,
Just flap
well,
it and stay on the wing. And
Very good performance, especially that first beat after the start. They were very quick and led at the weather mark, but Andu wore them down. So Finn Porter across second.
50 seconds, Peter, the margin.
Okay, so just added 5 seconds on that downwind leg. So Finn Porter, good start to the regatta. A second and a first. And remembering, for those that might be familiar, it's a low point score. So you get 1 point for a win, 2 for second, 3 for third, and so on. So it's a low point score that'll win this regatta. After 6 races, you can drop or discard your worst performance. So we've got to wait till Wednesday for that to come into play. It's way too early to be talking points yet, but nonetheless, a good start by both Andu and Finport. And Lazarus, here he comes. He also ragging his chute to get up to the line. So he will have a third and a fourth. That's solid.
Getting entangled with a 12-foot skiff.
Yeah.
And he also flapping the chute to get to the finish.
So he was quick, Lazarus, today, because he was dead and buried there for a while.
Yeah.
And he extracted himself that second beat, I think it was. Got himself right up into the picture.
Well,
So-
it looked as if they just didn't get the rig settings right for the first beat.
Well, whatever he did to get it right, he's done a very good job. So he's across in third.
Yeah.
And now we're watching on the battle for fourth. And Noakes Big Pete's got himself into fourth.
And if we thought it was the guts of the day before, Pete, it's the new guts of the day now. Smeg and Noakes.
Yeah, boy, look at it, looking upwind. It's just a mass of white caps.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Noakes will be, Big Pete will be fifth.
So that's a good result for those boys.
Big Pete fourth, Smeg fifth.
Yep.
So that'll give Big Pete a fourth and a seventh. Smeg across in fifth for a fifth and a second. So now here come the Germans in sixth spot.
Sensational effort
Black Knight.
from the Black Knight.
Well, if you remember a couple of weeks ago in that strong southerly, really strong southerly, they limped their way around the course. And so these boys, not to be denied, so they'll be sixth. Yandu and
having a fight with the rag for seventh.
For seventh. And look at this.
In plenty.
Okay, here's the Black Knight going across in sixth. He's across, and there's a real battle here for seventh. Can Harry Price run down John Winnie? I doubt it. Oh, and do at full wick. They're both at full wick.
Absolutely.
Working hard, these crews. Oh, Yandu, terrific. Another consistent performance by Yandu. He's seventh. The rag is eighth.
Wow. 8 and 8 for the rag.
Not the start of their JJs that they were hoping for.
And
They swing
they're going to go in the
Capsize
top.
on the finishing line.
But that's all right.
And Balmain Slate there or thereabouts. So another good performance by those boys in ninth position to go with their 10th yesterday. Henry Larkins. So they're across ninth. The capsized boat you see in the background is Rag and Famish. And then Shore and Partners in 10th. They round out the top 10. So, a lay day tomorrow. Boy, they'll need it after that. That was a tough race, hard race, long course, fresh nor'easter.
Then Birkenhead Point Marinas
And
just
then
about
Birkenhead Point
to
with
finish shipper.
Kirk Mitchell in the 11th.
And then Bigfoot from Queensland will be next.
Bigfoot in 12th. Okay, here's the Birkenhead with a black chute. the big foot with the purple chute, then a long gap after that, Jimmy.
Noakes Youth.
Yeah, so there's
Royal
Birkenhead, 12th. Bigfoot, Birkenhead 11th, Bigfoot 12th. So, Andrew, let's, while we're waiting for a few of the stragglers to finish, let's talk about a lay day tomorrow and then Tuesday. Two races.
Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 races each day. Short course, windward leeward. Thursday, 1 full-length race.
So, weather. Give me the weather for Tuesday, Andrew, at this stage.
At the moment, the models are sort of saying 2 days of moderate south-southwest, which is extremely peculiar, as you'd be well aware. And then going round to the easterlies.
Well, Tuesday looks a bit ugly, according to the Bureau of Meteorology.
Yeah.
West to southwesterly about 10 knots during the morning, then turning north to northwesterly in the afternoon. That could be ugly.
Could be ugly, yep.
And then Wednesday, westerly, 10 to 15 knots.
Which is ugly, just full stop.
Yeah, that's, so there's a lot of tricks to play out yet in this this event. And we've only 2 races into 9.
Yeah, no, lots of points. And obviously, you know, by the end of Thursday, you usually get a good idea who the, you know, the winner and the second place getter and the third place getter probably will be, barring accidents, of course. But the old story, consistency wins. It's 9 races, 1 discard. And so the consistent boats, and the most consistent boat by a long way at the moment is Finport.
So we're probably going to see a few days now of big sale days, aren't we? I think.
It does look like that, yeah. It does look like that.
We're just watching Noakes Youth go across in 13th and then the Royal Oak in 14th.
We've got the Fisher and Pike there on screen.
Fish pie. Oh, Jordan Gertis celebrated his 30th birthday yesterday. He's got a bouncy run to the finish. So, Andrew, trivia. Now, Jeff Stagg won, well, I'd say 2.5 Hobart races.
Oh, I know the half, Peter.
Yeah. Well, give me the other 2.
Well, one was a New Zealand boat and one was one of Peter Kurtz's boats, wasn't it?
Incorrect.
There you go. What would I know?
Well, he won with Peter Blake on New Zealand in 1980.
Oh, okay.
And he was on Bow Jest in 1997.
Of course, indeed.
With Carl Kwok.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, you've got to polish up on your trivia. You've got 48 hours to do that.
Oh,
and there'll be more coming your way.
Pete, I'll be asking the questions for the next race, all right?
Okay.
The Japanese.
Oh, there's this kamikaze here. Oh, where's the crew? There's crew everywhere. Just pull the chute on, do something, someone. Look at Berger. Swinging it down. Oh, John O'Witty. There they go. Well done. They're across. That's it. And the ferry and uproar as the boys come across. Well done. So look, second race, all but over. I think that's the fleet have now finished. An outstanding performance by Andu to win. Finport equally strong second. Lazarus third. Big Pete fourth. Smeg fifth. So,
and I think we should have special mention for the Germans, Pete.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a hot effort.
In 6th position.
In a tough nor'easter, they were...
There's the top 10 on screen anyway.
Yeah, there's the top 10 for those that might have missed it earlier. So tomorrow we can all sleep in and have a day off and have a rest. And we'll be back on Tuesday at 2:30 Sydney time. And we hope you can join us then. So I'm sure you've enjoyed the coverage wherever you've been watching, from Nova Scotia or Annapolis or New Zealand or England. We've certainly enjoyed bringing this to you, as we will each day throughout the next week. Late day tomorrow, 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, and 1 on Thursday, and then following weekend, 1 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. So again, the Sale Media team have been really delighted to be able to bring this coverage to you. I hope you've enjoyed it from wherever you're watching. On behalf of Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland, Peter Shipway saying good afternoon from a glorious Sydney Harbour, and we look forward to your company in 2 days' time.